A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Nerf Secrets Revealed Aftersought Part 2. And I'm really excited to say that Aftersought Part 2 sure has progressed to a point where I am much more professional at this than I was during the 2020 season. But let's just say that blasters, by all means, have gotten bigger, and in most cases they might not have gotten better. But I feel like that one that sure is worth the value of $30 brand new in box is the Mega AccuStrike Thunderhawk. Yeah. We are going to be talking specifically about this supersized blaster with an integrated tripod that only has 2 legs. So it's a bipod in this case. So, not to mention a large telescoping barrel. That doesn't necessarily meet the requirements of most things, but hey, win-win on all ends. So, let's get it primed up. And essentially speaking, this is little more than a Mega AccuStrike style sniper rifle. But how does it compare to that of most other blasters that we've seen? Well, it's that of which I can't quite understand. Or, better yet, how can I postulate it into words? But yet, with all things considered, the Thunderhawk is probably one of those that's worth the value for a few reasons. One is that it has some really good ergonomics, especially with the stock being nice and solid, not at all flimsy, and practically perfectly proportionate to my own shoulder. And so, just bracing it up against here sure is rather satisfying, to say the least. There we go. Got it to work. Then of course you gotta remember that it does have an integrated clip on the side, which is very reminiscent to that of the Modulus Battle Scout, which was eventually turned into a battle camo blaster, which I refer to as the Combiner. So the Thunderhawk is a bit more of a supersized variant of this style of clip that is mounted to the side and of course automatically shifts to the side, pretty much. But unlike the Battle Scout where its clip can easily come out, this one apparently does not come out no matter what. But thankfully there is a bit of a technique that I can use to where I can simply push down the pin that engages the lock system that prevents this thing from getting off, and it can easily slide out by all means. I don't really have a pen on me unfortunately to test this out, but that's not necessarily the point here because, well, in case it's not self-explanatory to you by now, then just simply know what's at stake here. Well, that was kind of a dud. And then of course we gotta mention real quick that the length of this blaster is insanely large. Just to try and fit this thing in the frame is almost ludicrous to try and pull off on our own. But what kind of difference would it make, really? I guess not a whole lot, because all it does is it just amps up the aesthetics on this blaster entirely. Also, the sort of polygon sort of look to this doesn't really appeal to me all that well. You might as well just leave it like this. It's a really bulky sized blaster for the most part, yet it is super lightweight. So I'm not really seeing a lot of issues here on that part. And with that, I pretty much just emptied the whole clip. 10 Mega AccuStrike darts you can fit in here, or regular Mega darts, because it does seem to work pretty well on both ends. So, one thing that is pretty much missing though is just the fact that we're going to try an invisible test. So, let's go ahead and try it out. And we got 2 more to go here. Well, that pretty much just concludes that. So when it comes to Mega Blasters, there's been a lot out there, and there's been quite a bit of a catalog that has stretched almost for miles, as it seems. But the Mega AccuStrike Thunderhawk is probably one of the only few examples out there where you can still get a blaster brand new in box and yet still have some good value out of it. This one I was able to get for only 30 bucks with free shipping, brand new in box on eBay.com. So if that doesn't serve as a good, well-known example of how some value of blasters out there, or basically just to know the fact that blasters out there still do have a nice, well-set cost, especially for people who might not be able to afford expensive Nerf blasters, then just to know the fact that I was able to get mine on the cheap, maybe you could do the same thing. Do be sure to check out on eBay, because I feel like that deals might start to disappear, especially with the large abundance of people wanting to collect blasters like this. So if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.